Hello and welcome to this 40-minute nourishing slow flow. This is the perfect practice for you if you are just looking to gently connect with your body, have a check-in, move those parts of you that don't normally get the chance to be moved, and to come away feeling relaxed, replenished and renewed. If you're ready, let's get started. Okay, let's start in any nice, comfortable seated position. Just find yourself in a space that feels good. Bring the eyes to a close and let's begin. I want you to start, first of all, by just paying attention to any thoughts coming through your brain. Let's decide to park those for now, simply letting them go. Anything from the day that's been weighing on you, that's felt heavy, maybe been stressing you out. It's okay for these next few moments just to let that go as you spend a little bit of time nourishing you. And just gently starting to connect to your breath, noticing the cool air as it comes in through your nose, fills your lungs, and noticing the warmth of the air as it leaves your body. Noticing the gentle rise and fall of your chest and your belly. Noticing where you might be holding on to some tension in the body. Those really obvious places that instantly speak out to you. Do you need to unclench your jaw? Do you need to relax your shoulders? Just doing a nice quick overview scan. Where do you need to check in? Where do you need to let go? And then just starting to invite some movement into the practice. We're just going to start rolling our head gently round in circles. Just warming up through the neck. Going as slow as you need to really allow you to reach all the edges of that circle. Noticing what parts of that circle are feeling really good to move. What parts are maybe feeling a bit ouchy and in need of some love. And then with a deep inhale, going in the other direction. And then bringing the head back to center, we're going to take the right ear to the right shoulder and just stretch out through that left side of the neck. You can also bring your right hand to your head here for a little extra pressure. And maybe even take the left arm out to the side, inviting that stretch to go through the shoulder and down into the arm. And then as we inhale, rainbowing over to the other side. Left ear to left shoulder. Maybe left hand to your head. Maybe right arm out to the side. Feeling that stretch through the shoulder. Releasing the jaw. Remembering to breathe. Coming back to center. We're going to start rolling the shoulders backwards. Again, using all of your arms to really get those shoulders moving through the full circle available. Feeling any crunchy points as you roll through. Feeling those shoulder blades sliding together and down. Really getting those muscles moving that normally spend so long stuck still. And then rolling the other way, inviting the shoulders forward. Shoulder blades rising up and together. Noticing if one shoulder feels stiffer than the other. And then bringing the shoulders to stillness. Now we're going to bring our hands to our knees. If your legs are straight, you can always just open them slightly wider. And we're going to do a seated cat-cow. So as we breathe in, lifting the chest, opening the shoulders, lifting the chin. And then as we exhale, rounding the back, bringing everything inwards, chin to chest. Breathing in to rise. Breathing out, bringing everything inwards. And just for a couple of seconds here, follow the rhythm of your own breath. Breathing in to open and rise. Exhaling as we bring everything together. Coming back to center, we're going to put our legs out in front of us. Have a shimmy, get comfortable, feel those sit bones on the floor. You may want your knees bent here, you may wish to have a blanket or something underneath to support them. Find that space that feels comfortable and right for you. Taking a deep inhale as we lift the arms above and exhale as we fold forward. And again, your hands may just be on your thighs. Maybe they're resting on your shins or your ankles, or maybe you're able to reach those toes today. And just gently waking up through the backs of those legs and the lower back. Finding that fine line between comfort and stretch. Listening to your body. And slowly walking the hands back up the leg, coming to seated, planting the right hand down by the right side, lifting left arm up overhead into our side bend. Spreading those top fingers wide, staring up to the top thumb. Breathing in and opening through those left side ribs. And on your next inhale, rainbowing over to the left, left hand down, right arm up to the sky. Spreading those top fingers, gazing up to the top thumb. This time breathing in and opening through those right side ribs. Deep inhale back to the other side. Right hand down, left arm overhead. And last time, inhaling as we rainbow over to the left, bringing that right arm overhead. Feeling if there's any more room for movement this second time round. And then coming back up to center, we're going to bend the right knee, foot to the floor, hugging that right knee with our left hand as we bring our right hand behind us, coming into our twist. As you breathe in, imagine the body growing taller. And as you exhale, imagine just twisting slightly further over that right shoulder. Breathing in to grow tall. Exhaling to twist. And then on your next inhale, gently rolling through the front, switching the legs and coming to twist on the left. Again, remembering as you breathe in, growing tall, head to the sky. As you exhale, peering ever so slightly further over that left shoulder. And then on your next inhale, coming back to front and center and coming to find tabletop pose. Take a moment to find your center, hands under the shoulders, fingers spread nice and wide, knees under the hips. Taking a nice deep breath in here. And then bringing the right foot to the back of the mat and just gently rocking backwards and forwards, warming up the back of that right leg. If this is enough for you, please stay here. Otherwise, we're going to lift the back foot, raising that right leg parallel with the body. Right buttock strong, tummy to spine. If this is good, hang here. Otherwise, lifting that left arm, fingers pointing forward, coming into our Superman. Keeping that tummy strong, back straight, core engaged. And then returning the left hand to the mat, we're going to bring the right foot forward onto the outside of the right hand. Coming into lizard pose. Now you may be happy here, or you can always rock onto the edge of that right foot, opening the right knee. Maybe gentle pressure with the right hand, opening up through that right hip. If you've opened that right knee, bringing it back to center, planting the hands, tucking the back toes, and we're actually going to step that left foot forward and meeting in a wide leg forward fold. It's always okay to have your knees bent. Always okay to not have your nose touching your knees. Finding that space that feels right for you. Listening to your body, tuning in, knowing that line between comfort and stretch. And allowing the body to just melt into the pose. And then we're going to tiptoe the toes out to roughly 45 degrees, bending the knees, bringing the hips down as we come into Malasana, yogi squat. Noticing how this feels through your knees, through your hips. And keep your hands on the floor for support. You can open up the squat into a slightly more open variation, finding that space that feels right for you. Planting the hands back to the mat. We're going to come back into our wide forward fold and then just tiptoe the feet back to hip distance apart. Planting the hands, bringing the left foot to the back of the mat, planting the knee, untucking the toes into our low lunge. Feeling the opening through the front of that left hip. If this is enough for you, please stay here and enjoy this pose. Otherwise, we're breathing in, lifting the arms overhead, reaching up to the sky, linking the thumbs and bringing in a very gentle back bend. Now lowering the arms into a revolved twist, right arm to the back of the mat, left hand facing forward, opening those fingers, taking up space, releasing the jaw and breathing. Now we're going to plant the left hand on the mat, Bringing the right arm up to the sky for our dragonfly. Spreading those top fingers, taking up space. Planting that right hand back to the mat, returning the right knee to tabletop, and having a little wiggle. Re-find your center in your tabletop, spreading those fingers on the mat, taking a nice deep breath in, and then taking the left foot to the back of the mat. And just gently rocking backwards and forwards here, starting to wake up the back of the left leg. If this is enough for you, please stay here. Otherwise, we're going to float that left foot off the mat, bringing the leg parallel to the body. Squeezing that left glute, tummy tucked to the spine. And if you want to take it one step further, bringing that right arm out in front, spreading those fingers. Feeling the body strong from fingertips to tiptoes. And then bringing that right hand back to the mat, bringing that left foot to the outside of the left hand for our lizard. You may be happy here. You may want to rock out onto the outside of the left foot, bringing the left hand to the left knee, opening into that left hip just a little further. If you've opened that left knee, bringing it back to center, planting the hands, tucking the right toes, lifting as we bring that right foot forward into our wide leg forward fold. And this time maybe having a play and seeing what movement you've got in the pose. If you have your knees quite bent, how do you feel straightening those legs a bit more? Maybe you keep the legs bent, but you're able to bring your body further in. Always being inquisitive, always questioning, always playing within the pose. And then again, bringing those toes out to 45-degree angles as we bend the knees, bring the hips down, back into our yogi squat. And again, having a play. Can you get more movement through your hips and your knees this time around? Are you maybe able to lift the hands off the floor this time? There's never a right or wrong. There's only exploring, asking, and enjoying. Bringing the hands back to the mat if they're not already there. Straightening those legs, lifting the hips back to our wide forward fold. And then tiptoeing those toes and those feet back to hip distance apart. This time planting the hands, taking the right foot to the back of the mat, lowering the knee, untucking the toes for our low lunge. Noticing the difference of how it feels opening through the right side of the hip compared to the left. Is there one side that feels more wobbly, more tight, more juicy? Always just checking in, noticing. If this is enough for you, please stay here. Otherwise, we're breathing in, lifting the arms up above, linking the thumbs, and inviting a gentle back bend. And as we bring the arms back down, coming into our revolve twist, this time left arm to the back of the mat, right arm pointing forwards, spreading those fingers, taking up space. Finally, dropping that right hand to the mat, left arm up to the sky for our dragonfly. Bringing that top hand back to the mat, returning the left knee to tabletop. Coming into child's pose, or if you'd prefer, spreading the knees to the edge of the mat for extended child pose. And then slowly coming back up through tabletop, closing the knees if you extended there, coming forward onto the tummy, bringing the elbows beneath the shoulders, forearms out in front of you, fingers spread, hands on the mat for Sphinx pose. If you feel any pinching in your lower back here, you're welcome to spread your feet to the width of the mat, opening those legs slightly, reducing the pressure on the lower back. Just taking a moment to settle here. And we're going to bring the sole of our right foot to meet the inside of our left knee. Bringing the right knee out to the side for our tree pose variation. If this is enough for you, please stay here. Otherwise, we're going to take the left arm, tuck it under the right arm for rainbowing that right arm overhead, rolling onto the back for our twist. The right knee is completely okay to come off the mat, making sure you feel supported by the floor from the head along the body all the way to the toes. And just noticing the different parts of the body and how they feel. Does anywhere feel tight? Does anywhere feel really lovely being open? Relaxing the jaw, remembering to breathe. And then on your next inhale, we're going to rainbow that right arm back overhead, rolling back onto the tummy, back into Sphinx pose. Having a second to find your center. And then bringing the sole of the left foot to meet the inside of the right knee. If this is enough for you, please stay here. Otherwise, we're threading the right arm under the left, rolling onto that right side of the body as we rainbow the left arm overhead to come back into our twist. And as we start slowing down, just noticing how it feels to have all that lovely energy gently pulsing through your body. And just noticing how nourishing it feels to be moving your body, allowing it space to breathe. And then on your next inhale, rainbowing that left arm back overhead, rolling back onto the tummy, back into Sphinx pose. Maybe taking one deep breath in here. And as we exhale, planting the hands under the shoulders, tucking the back toes, pushing through tabletop, lifting the hips to the sky into downward facing dog. It's always okay for your knees to be bent. It's always okay for your heels to not be touching the floor. Focusing on bringing the belly to the top of the thighs, hips lifting to the sky, stretching through the back. And then bringing the feet under the body to come back into our seated pose. This time bringing the soles of the feet together for Baddha Konasana, bound angle pose. Your feet may be slightly further out. They may be really close to your body. Again, it really doesn't matter. Just find that place that feels right for you. And that may be different to last week, maybe different to next week. If this feels strong on your hips or your knees, you could always bolster each side with blankets or blocks, finding some extra support there in the pose. Growing tall, breathing in, and then as we exhale, just folding forward over the feet. And just spending a few moments here, signaling to the body that we're starting to slow down. Starting to really absorb all that beautiful energy from the practice. And as we've been here a couple of moments, maybe seeing if there's any more movement in the pose. Maybe you're able to relax your hips a bit more. Maybe you're able to fold forward a bit more. If you can, that's great. If you can't, really doesn't matter. And then slowly as we inhale, bringing the body back up to seated. Planting the hands behind the body, fingers facing forward as we open the chest and just come into a gentle counter bend. Opening the heart. Then coming back to seated, legs out along the mat, coming down onto our backs. Letting the earth hold you, feeling your body supported by the ground, by your mat. Taking a couple of breaths here. And then we're going to bring the knees to the chest, hugging them into the body. And if this is enough for you, please stay here. Or otherwise, we're going to extend the feet up to the sky, bringing the knees to the armpit space, reaching up to the outside of each foot for happy baby. And maybe stillness here is exactly what you need. Maybe you'd enjoy a little bit of rocking backwards and forwards, massaging that back on the mat. Maybe you'd like to explore stretching each leg one at a time. Again, just playing with the pose, finding what feels good for you here. taking what you need from this practice, listening to your body. And then gently releasing the feet back to the floor. Stretching those legs long, arms above the head, stretching all the way from fingertips to tiptoes. And then leaving the body central where it is, we're going to walk the fingertips and the toes to the right for banana pose, Bananasana. And if you want a slightly deeper stretch here, you can take the left wrist with the right hand. You can cross the left ankle over the right. Really opening all through the left side of that body. Unclenching the jaw. Breathing in. Letting everything go. Then releasing the hands, releasing the feet, walking them back through center, over to the left. Again, if you're looking for more, taking the right wrist with the left hand, crossing the right ankle over the left, stretching all through the right side of that body. Walking those hands back to center, feet back to center. One big stretch all the way from tiptoes to fingertips. And then letting the legs flop to the sides, bringing the hands down by the sides of the body. Palms facing upwards as we come to Shavasana. If you have the time, maybe staying in this pose for a few minutes longer. Really enjoying all those wonderful benefits from spending some time nourishing your mind, nourishing your body. Otherwise, keeping the eyes closed, you're gently going to roll onto one side of the body before pushing up into seated. Taking a last couple of deep breaths. And coming to the end of our practice. Thank you for joining me. I hope you enjoyed this class.